Hey guys, I hope you're well. I'm sorry about the background noise, but I've got a fan running because it's hot and muggy. And man, boy, if it hasn't been pouring rain, it's been smoking hot and muggy. I wanted to do an introductory to Mint Linux. This is the latest version. This is on my IBM, well, it's a Lenovo ThinkPad, the one I use in my radio area. I have another ThinkPad I keep in my bedroom and I use on trips and such. Excuse me. So I've learned a couple lessons when making a video. Finally, I've learned. And the first lesson is to not look at the camera. Every now and then, sure, glance at it, make sure it's happy, but watch the screen on the laptop because of the lag time. And it's a bigger screen. So this is Mint Linux, and you can get several different variants with different desktop environments. This is the Cinnamon desktop. This is the one with the most effects and eye candy and such. And Linux just runs so smooth and fast on any computer that desktop rendering isn't an issue. So this is a wallpaper that I enjoy. I turn off I remove all my desktop icons, and it only has a couple. The trash icon and your user folder icon, where you access your files, and maybe computer. I don't know. I just right click and delete them. I do want my desktop icons visible though, the ones I want on the desktop. My two spreadsheet tools I use a lot, so I leave those on the desktop. GQRX is a new package I just installed today because my brother Art gave me a DVB dongle, an SDR, FM, DVB, whatever it is, DAB. Who knows, man? So this is Linux, and here is, I've moved my task, it's called a panel in Linux. This is your panel, your main panel. I only use one, and that's the default. The default is with at the bottom, but I've always used my panel at the top, so I move it to the top. And I've got mine set to auto hide because it's on a relatively small screen. It's a 14-inch screen on this laptop. So I set it to auto hide, and you can see it's very smooth. It's pleasant. It appears quickly, goes away smooth and quickly. And so that's your panel. These icons are for the packages I use most. And I'll show you how you can add an icon to the panel in a moment. On the right hand side, this little man, that's you. It's called Carol because I built the computer for my sister, and once I started adding software, she didn't want it, so I started adding software, and I reached a point where I didn't want to create a new user and start over again and I can't remove Carol. I can rename Carol, but I keep it Carol. She's my sister, man. So again, what I did there was I clicked on it, and you can choose system settings from there, but I can lock the screen. I can switch to a different user, and when I do that, Carol still keeps running in the background. You can switch users, and your software you're running won't stop. I can log out, I can power off. To the right of that is my audio applet, and to the right of that is where I can choose one of two desktops. Here, I'm on desktop 2, right? Let me open my file manager. Okay, now let's go back to desktop 1. And you can switch between desktops without a mouse by pressing Control-Alt and your right or left arrow key, like that. And to the right of that is my Bluetooth manager where I can transfer files to my Bluetooth devices or connect to whatever you want. To the right of that is the update icon, the update application. To the right of that is my power applet. To the right of that is my Wi-Fi signal applet. To the right of that is the calendar and clock. Okay, like you'd find anywhere. And you want to run a system update together. You want to see how long it takes for the system to update. Let me refresh this, and we'll see what packages that might have been modified and offered to the community. It's a very smart update manager. It's very fast, it's very smart, it gives you control over what gets updated if you wish. If you don't wish that, you can have it maintain in the background. I just like to see what it wants to update because I'm a Linux enthusiast. Okay, you want, so Windows 10 Lite theme, a desktop UI theme, two of them. I'm not going to bother to update them because it would only take seconds. On my bedroom computer now, that one's got a bunch of them, including the kernel, both of my web browsers, and that would be a better machine to demonstrate that on. If there's any interest, I will. Okay, so this is your start menu, if you will. It's the menu. Suppose if they tried to call it a start menu, they'd get sued by Uncle Bill. Speaking of, there was a Linux distribution at one time called Lindows, Lindows. Linux Windows. Should they have been able to get away with that, man? Lindows. My son and I both think not. It's too close. Sorry, man. I love Linux, but come on, man. The legal holder of a copyright is. Okay, so this is a start menu, and this is the default theme. You can choose different themes for everything in this desktop UI. Any of the desktop elements you can change, right? So this is the these are the software packages, and on the left these are favorites. And you can see right now as favorites, I've got the software manager, system settings, LibreOffice Writer, my word processor, simple screen recorder, and Pitivi, my video editor. Down at the bottom again, lock screen, log out, shut down, quit. This search bar is like, I don't know if it's like Windows. I haven't used Windows. I've never used Windows 10. I used to use Windows 7 religiously. And I like Windows 7. It's an amazing OS, man. So I just installed a software package called GQRX. Let's say I didn't know where it was located, and I don't. If I go to all applications, I'll find it, but you can find something. I never do this, but I think a lot of people do. If you know what you're looking for, type G, Q, and there it is. You can click on it and run it. I don't like to see this panel over here, these favorites. However, that's the default. And if you wanted to add something to the favorites, let's say this program Peak, which is just a picture viewer. If I right click, we get options. Add to the panel at the top, or if you're a normal user, it'd be at the bottom, but add the panel. You can add it to the desktop, add to favorites, or uninstall it. Let's add Peak to the favorites. And it should, and there it is. Yeah, Peak. If you want to get rid of it, you just drag it off of there, and it's gone. Okay, that's the start menu. Okay, let's get rid of the favorites. I'll right click on it, I'll choose configure, I'll choose menu, and let's see, show favorites and session buttons, turn it off. Now it's gone. Okay, so that's the menu. You can, let me go back to configure. One thing that's kind of cool, and I used to do this, use custom icon and label. For a while I had an ohm symbol there. You know what I mean? And if you hovered over it, it said N8NK instead of menu. You would do it there. Okay, so that's a start menu and a menu. No real need to talk about these application icons because they're just stuff that I use and of no interest to you probably. System monitor. Okay, it's been a while since I've rebooted the system. I don't know how long. A week, maybe 2 weeks. Who knows? I almost never reboot my computers. There's no need. There's never a need unless you install a kernel when doing an update. If one of the updates is a system kernel, then it'll prompt you to reboot when it's done. Other than that, you never have to reboot. Okay, so it's been running for a week or two, at least. And how much memory is the operating system using right now? 1.1 gigabytes. I have 8 gig installed, as you see. So it's only using 1.1 gig of the 8. Over to the right, you'll see the swap. With this operating system, well, we don't need to get into that. You don't have to designate a dedicated swap file, but if you do, it can be a lot faster if you start eating up your RAM. And I do video editing on this computer, and I've never seen the memory used go over, I don't know, half. It might use 4 of the 8 gigabytes when I'm editing a video in the transcoding process because I transcode the WebM format. And you'll see the CPU usage up here. If I quit messing with the mouse, that's very typical. You know, one of the cores, well, no, none of the cores are over 10-12% ish. So, yeah. One thing interesting when I'm compiling video using my video editor, it'll run one core up to 100% and only one core, and then the core that it's using will switch. It'll randomly, jump around. This core might switch to 100%, and the others are like they are now. And then this core, and then this core, then this core, and it's crazy. So that's how much RAM the system uses. Let's see, what else did I want to show you? How fast it opens the program. Let's open a spreadsheet, my RF Tools spreadsheet. Not bad, not bad. And it's a pretty big spreadsheet with an ass load of formulas in it, Not bad at all, man. You want to see something that I like to do? Here's the file manager. I'll show you how long that takes to open. I'm going to click on it right now. Boom. As people used to say, boom. Is that going out of style? Like, booyah. Booyah. I don't know what else to show you. I'll switch to desktop too. We'll close that we had open there. I use a logger called CQR log, which is phenomenal for Linux. This is how long it takes to open. And if there's any interest in it, it's asked me if I want to update the QSL manager database. I'll say yeah. If there's any interest in it, I can go over CQR log and explain what I like so much about it. I see that while we're here, yeah, nothing of note. So that's Mint Linux. Let's see how long it takes a browser to open. That long. ScrewTube is a little bit slow. 69 people looked at Brother Art's theremin. This one here I pulled out of the trash heap. It was going to get deleted, and it's been the most popular video by viewers count anyway that I've done in the last year. So that's Mint Linux. Cinnamon. One moment. I just ran system info. That's my system information. Linux Mint 20.2 Cinnamon Edition. Processors, and Intel i5, typical 200 and whatever gigabyte SSD. You want to see how long it takes to shut down and reboot? I've shown it before, but let's show it again. I'll click restart. There, shut down. Once you see that logo go away, it's booting now. It takes less than 20 seconds. I don't know. I haven't timed it in a while. It generally, the boot time doesn't change really with the installation of software packages like it does with Windows, because there's no registry file. So that's Mint Linux 20.2 Cinnamon Edition. Hope that was of some value to somebody. I highly encourage you to run Mint Linux, unless you're using it as a front end for an SDR. I have no experience with that in Linux. I have no experience with that, period. I think Big Brother Art had an ulterior motive when he gave this to me, man. Here, I'm unplugging it. When he gave this to me, man. See that? What do you think that's hooked to, man? It's like, really, Art? After all I've done on ScrewTube, bashing and trashing and hashing out the SDR remote addicts. I hope you're well. Take care, guys. 73.